What's up, everybody? I haven't done a vid. I haven't talked in a while. I've been busy doing shit, but I am committed to telling my whole life story with as much detail as I can. But I want to throw a quick, funny story at you. Well, not fun. I guess I'll get into it. So I was lucky enough to apprentice and learn how to tattoo and work as a tattooer in a shop. And I'm hella proud of that. And this was so I learned how to tattoo from multiple people, but the first guy's name was Charlie. I might have spoken on him before. He's from my neighborhood in San Francisco, Sunnyside, but I met him in Santa Rosa in about 2005. He owned Santa Rosa Tattoo, and I was walking by one day. I was living in a halfway house up there. I had just gotten out of my first rehab. Uh, I was all and I had a couple months before I had to get back to work as a butcher at Safeway. So I'm walking by his tattoo shop and I see this bald headed dude. You know how it is. Dude's hanging out front, and one of the guy goes, "Hey, what's up? What's that? What's that SF tattoo on your arm?" You know, and I'm in Santa Rosa, so I just turned around and I said, I'm from the city. And he goes, "What?" And so that was it. We started talking. Turns out his parents' house, his family's house, the fucking house he grew up in is a block and a half from the house I grew up in. We're the same fucking age. I think I'm a little older than him. Um, how did I not know him earlier in high school? And we hung out in the same circles. I just don't get it. But so we became like really good friends because of this fact. He had been in Santa Rosa, um, and I just moved there. Now Charlie's skill was phenomenal. Not only was he a good street fighter and a trained fighter, Charlie, we called him Chaw, CHA, but Charlie was Henry Goldfield's apprentice, I believe. And every week at Santa Rosa Tattoo, Goldfield would come up, I think on a weekend, and I'm not going to say teach Charlie, but work there, you know? And that's why Charlie's script is so good, by the way. What was so good, rest in peace, brother. I have most of my tattoos are from Charlie, and well, half at least. And my necklace tattoo is from him, and he did that motherfucker. No stencil, no line to mark. No, that's not true. He put a Sharpie line like a half of a circle so it would look good, but blasted freehand and oh man, dude, shaded it too, same way. Uh, Negative shading. It's just sick, dude. Unfortunately, over the years, it's gotten faded because of the sun. I'll never touch it up because I don't want to go over his original writing. But so then I lived in Santa Rosa from 2004, shit, maybe up to 2000, for at least 4 years and maybe more. And I loved it. I fucking loved it, dude. I got so much pussy there because, I mean, I don't know. I guess being from a bigger city and going to, a city 2 hours away, uh, girls just wherever, dude. The girls, oh my god, dude. So many fine white girls, fine every girl, but there was a majority of white people up there, so the girls are mostly white, but like slutty. Oh God, loved them. And obviously, the more I started kicking it with Charlie and his buddies and meeting homeboys, just everything was cool, man. Everyone was really gracious. I love Santa Rosa and people from there generally. If you're cool, uh, my grandfather lived there before he died, and I have family there. Family house. I have a grandpa. My grandma lives in Forestville, so it's like, dude, I love the area. And ironically, when I was there in like 2004, when I moved there for rehab, I didn't see really anyone up in the city. It wasn't bombed. I was talking to my homies from Rosa and about this, and well, now the freeways are rocked, But yeah, there was only one dude back then in Rosa, El Bardo, and I just remember rolling through downtown Santa Rosa, through the whole city of Santa Rosa. It's quite easy to drive through in a few minutes, and he was up on the main intersections. Not the best style, but he was up. And anyway, like maybe 2 months later, I read in the newspaper he got arrested. But I guess he's a good dude from what I understand. But so long story short, Charlie died. Charlie died, and I went to the shop really early one morning. I what anyway. I'm trying to figure out a way to say this with the most utmost respect. I got a tattoo from him the night. I got a tattoo from him the night before he died. Uh, it was just me, him, if I remember correctly, and maybe two other people. There was no one hanging out. I could be wrong. There wasn't many people if there was, and he gave me a tattoo, and had I had known that it'd be the last time I'd seen him, obviously I would have gotten my books about pit bulls from him. Some real old books I'd gotten from a friend, and his grandfather gave him. I mean, we're talking books from the 50s, and Charlie got into pit bulls. And anyway, if I'd have known that would be the last night saw him, I would have thanked him for showing me in his after hours. Now, I wasn't an official apprentice of his, but whenever he had free time, he'd be like, "Hey, come over here." He let me tattoo. I mean, I loved him as a friend, as a brother. Actually got arrested at his funeral for a drunken public. That's kind of funny. Um, I never seen so many Hell's Angels in one spot than I did at Charlie's funeral in Santa Rosa. Um, I want to remember where the funeral home is. In my mind, I see it. Um, I walked up, and a lot of people knew. I got to know everyone, and when I walked up to the funeral home, I'm not sure if I got there early or what, but I didn't want to go for any of the procession, none of that stuff. I just wanted to go, and I wasn't prepared to see anyone in a casket, which is generally, even though I'm Irish, and that's how we celebrate people's deaths, is we walk up and look at them in a casket. I personally, I've been around death a lot. And killing. I just don't want to. I don't like to see it, but I walked up to his casket and I saw him. Paid my respects, and then went outside to the basically party in the parking lot. And there's Charlie's dad. Okay, and I'm just gonna say it because I don't give a fuck. Charlie's dad, this short Jewish man with a yarmulke on, and his mother, and just what do you say, right? Like, oh, I'm his homie from. I just shook his hand and said whatever I said. That was just nice. That was nice, I'm sure. Um, and That's Charlie from Santa Rosa Tattoo. I hope someone from here remembers him. If so, please leave something nice in the comments. Now my homeboy Dot, a tagger, well-known tagger in Lords. Anyway, I guess that's his shop now, and I want to say hello, brother. Um, and all my homies in Santa Rosa. So then I have that under my belt, right? And I come back years later, and I'm skipping major parts of my life story, obviously, but you know, maybe 2010, I find myself back in San Francisco, and I how did I do it? I'm on a oh, that's right. Oh man, so much shit happened. I ended up with a fucking tattoo machine, a whole kit. I was at a homeless shelter in Reno. I was at another rehab. I got kicked out. The rehab was in Tahoe. They fucking dropped me off at this homeless shelter in Reno downtown. I had fucking like 4 grand in my pocket. They give you your money if you're at a rehab. That's the money I went in with in cash, and so I was like, all right, whatever. I guess I'm not getting clean this time around. So I chilled in Reno, bro, and did the Reno thing, hustled there, and it sucks. Reno sucks. It's a pit, armpit. No disrespect to anyone from there, but bro, being stuck in that casino district downtown, I forget what they call it, and there's crack, there's black hookers, the whole deal. Oh yeah, there's white hookers too. This was before fentanyl, keep in mind. Anyway, I'm at this homeless shelter, and by the way, this is Piece by Piece, the second graffiti video about San Francisco. The most well known one, even though Malicious Mischief is the first, which I'm in. And and props to the dudes that made Malicious Mischief. That's a TMF Doug flick. I'm not sure who made this, but they got a lot more people in this. I'm sure. Well, here we are, Doug. I'm sure these dudes had something to do with it either way because they're the ones that had something to do with the first one. There goes Dino. But anyway, and I got this tattoo equipment, and I mean everything, and top of the line. A dude at this homeless shelter, he sold it to me, and he was from Reno, so I had actually a really good time with him, making money, hanging out in Reno, just like not having a care in the world because I had money. Um, there's a river that runs through downtown Reno, and this is something I generally never do because I'm from a big city. And bro, we got in that motherfucking we hiked for miles and got in that river, and it runs down through the middle of Reno, and we fucking just hopped in it and rode that fucker down, no, down through past the homeless shelter, which is like the YMCA, I think, past that bitch, and then got to shore, and that was one of the funnest days of my life, man. I wasn't high. It wasn't high. It was nothing. It was fun, dude. And I did overdose for the first time in my life in Reno. So obviously, I get kicked out of the rehab. I'm clean, but I want to get high. And like, I made arrangements. So I'm supposed to be at that homeless shelter at night. And I need a cigarette. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be at that fucking homeless shelter at night at 6 p.m. So I get there like at 2 p.m. I sign up, and I spend the rest of the day drinking a couple beers and looking for his heroin. And I met this hooker at the bus stop, which is what you always do in any city. Go to the transit mall, and you will find your drugs. Next thing I know, I'm in a cab with a hooker, some white bitch, and we go to a motel. No bueno. End up at some fucking paisa house down some fucking, I don't know, just in some rough neighborhood, not far from the casinos, like 5 minute drive. And she comes out with my shit, thank you, and I get dropped back off that homeless shelter. I run in, yada bada bing, do my thing, and I promptly walk out front, sit down, light a cigarette, and overdose. I didn't know I was overdosing. All I know is I just rolled a cigarette. All I know is I fucking woke up. All I know is I can't see anything, but I can hear. And what I hear is, well, first of all, they're pushing on my chest. I feel people grabbing me, and I hear one of them. I know I'm being worked on. I kind of deduced what had happened in my brain real quickly. I remember. So they were saying, "What the fuck's wrong with him? We smell him. He's drunk." and I was able to say heroin, and he heard me. He goes, "You hear him? You hear that?" So they hit me with Narcan. Bam, I was alive, thank God. And Matt in the back seat of this ambulance, but the problem was I had all this shit in my pocket, and I did not want to go to jail in Reno. My homie had just gotten out of Nevada State Penitentiary, and anyway, I turns out my life, dude. Look, things happen for a reason, and you'll know why when you're done with this whole series of mine. And I'm not ever gonna continue YouTube. I'm gonna tell my story, and it's done. But anyway, the fucking ambulance driver, the one that saved my life, turns out he went to my high school, and not only that, he fucking was a grade younger than me and remembered me, dude. And I told him my predicament because they were saying the police have to escort us and want to talk to you. And I said, and he let me get rid of what was in my pocket. And yes, the cops came to the back. Actually, the cops came. So next, they bring you to the hospital. Um, you're in Reno, so a cop's gonna talk to you if it's heroin back in the fucking 2000 uh, nines, eights, nines, and so I'm glad I got rid of it. I'm in the hospital. I left against orders because I was tripping about the homeless shelter, where was I going to stay, and even though I had enough money to stay in a hotel, I mean, I wasn't trying to stay hotel rooms, which is what people do up there. They sell dope and get hotel rooms. I was trying to stack, so I I went to back to the shelter. I'm walking in, and this very nice black lady walks up to me and goes, "Oh my God," and hugged me. And I was like, "Whoa, whoa." She goes, "I thought you were going to die." And I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I'm the lady that called 911." I said, she goes, "I was parked right here, and now I'm standing like talking to her right at the space where I passed out." And she goes, "And I'm watching you sit down, smoke a light a cigarette, and just drop. You were sitting Indian style and just folded." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I thanked her, obviously. And that was pretty intense, dude. Thinking about it now, I wish I could talk to her. That's the only time I OD'd in my life. So I know I've done a lot of drugs and I lost a lot of friends to this shit. How I'm still alive, I'm not quite sure. Another reason why things happen for a reason. So I go to the hotel, up into the homeless shelter. They're like, "Yeah, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, man. You lost your spot." "Oh, wait, you're the kid that almost died out front." "Yeah, that was me." "What happened?" "Oh, I had a diabetic react." "Oh, no problem." Got my room. So I stayed at that homeless shelter for 2 weeks. Met that dude. He's the one that sold me the tattoo shit, which I knew how to tattoo, which led me on my next adventure back when I got back home to Frisco, bro. This is why shit happens for a fucking reason. I'm on the back seat of a 14 mission, dude. And I'm tagging on the bus, and this girl says some shit. I'm talking to some fucking skinhead chick. She's like, "Hey, my boyfriend Lunchbox is looking for an artist. He just opened a tattoo shop on Geneva Avenue." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a tattoo artist. Shit." And that next day, I was working at that shop. I don't remember the name. I'll tell you right now, it was the stupidest, fucking gayest fucking name for a tattoo shop I ever heard of. Um, that's just some of my shit right there. But anyway, and I worked there for a few months with. Okay, this is going to be touchy here. I'm not going to say names because the shop got raided and these guys went to prison, and these guys are all convicts, white convicts, and political white convicts. So I'm actually not even going to say anything about that part. Just that I worked there, and a lot crazy shit happened there, and it got raided by the cops when I was working there, and that was my last day of work. Here I am drawing, but this is this funny story I wanted to tell. We're finally getting to it. Um, oh, and you better believe Excelsior District and the Hells Angels were taxing the shop, and the skinheads did not like it. Whether they paid a tax or not, I'm not sure. But I do know the neighborhood showed up, obviously. This is San Francisco. None of them dudes were from Frisco. So you cannot own and operate a tattoo shop in a neighborhood unless you're allowed to by the streets. Anyway, you like how I made it sound real serious, because it is serious. Anyway, I'm sitting there fucking, and everyone, and the way it was I was the last guy hired, so I get the last person at last walk-ins, right? I'm like the low man on totem pole, and but I was good. I had natural talent, and obviously I had this training behind me from Charlie, and a lot of my own stuff. And I'm an artist, so fucking this black dude walks in with his whole entourage. Now you understand this was on Geneva and Mission basically, but right across from the Walgreens. And oh fuck, I almost just remembered the name of the tattoo shop. Anyway, um, and so not only did Excelsior District people come in and get their gangster tattoos, the black gangsters came in from Sunnydale to get their tattoos. So I was like, I loved it actually, because those are my favorite tattoos: neighborhoods, gang tattoos. That's like what I like doing, to be honest with you. Um, but I have rules about it, strict rules. I won't get into now, but and I will not tattoo any hatred or racist shit or enemy stuff, just names. Anyway, so uh, obviously girls, cholo girls, any kind of girls. I don't give a fuck. Girls with big butts, big tits, big lips. Girls, girl faces, cars, lowriders, all that shit, man. And so they skulls. Oh fucking. Anyway, so uh, decapitated heads. Oh, I love tattooing them. Anyway, so he comes in with his entourage, and he's obviously from Sunnydale, because no other hood dude's gonna come into that shop from any other hood. And he wants his girlfriend's tit tattooed. And I'm like, cool, let's go. So we go into the room that was free. And next thing I know, like, his homies pile in, and his one girlfriend. And it's like close to 20 people now in my room, my tattoo room. And they start breaking out the weed and the fucking wax and all the shit, bro. And I'm just like, fuck, I have no control over it. My boss, no one has control over it at this point. These dudes, it's their shop right now, dude. And it was cool as fuck, bro. It was so fun. So here we go. She's in my chair, and I'm going for her tit, right? And it's like a party in there. They're drinking. I'm drinking. They're smoking blunts. I'm smoking their blunts. Fucking think someone had some coke. I'm not sure. I'm not naming names. But and I'm like trying to be respectful of her breast, obviously. And so as I gracefully held it, no, just kidding. So I just pulled her shirt down a little bit. We're not going to show no nipple. I'm just tattooing above her tit. And I tattooed his name on her breast. And of course, I told him he's a dumbass, because I made the same mistake, and I ain't with that bitch now. She's not a bitch. She's actually a very good friend of mine, one of my closest friends. And I have her name on me. Well, and a couple others. But told him it was a mistake. He didn't listen to me, and he's not with her today. How do I know? Because he sold weed on the Woo Block, man. And I'd always be like, hey, yo, what's up? Man, fuck that bitch. And I would just laugh. I'd laugh, not in his face, but I'd stand there and just laugh, and he'd laugh too. And I say, I told you, bro. Don't ever get your bitch's name tattooed on you. I don't give a fuck. You got kids with her? Yeah, he has kids with her. Anyway, that's my funny story. All right, bye guys. Bye guys.